How's it going? Welcome back, my wonderful wise ones, to a fantastic video today because we can rejoice, finally, as a long-time Fallout fan, ever since Fallout 3. And I know that might rub people the wrong way, but that's just, my age. I'm only, 29. I'm only 29 years old, so I never grew up with the original Fallout games, but I went back and I played them, so don't you worry. And yeah, I'm just a massive Fallout fan. Ever since then, I remember, I remember going into school one day, seeing one of my friends having the guidebook, and ever since then, I've just been absolutely in love with the universe. It's just one of the best fictional universes, tangent universes to ever exist in media, in my opinion, because it deals with philosophical themes, great moral choices, an interesting world, a unique sci-fi blend mixed with, kind of 50s futuristic aesthetic, which obviously isn't exactly the point, but it kind of became that with Bethesda. I've made a whole video about how Bethesda doesn't understand OG Fallout, why OG Fallout is in fact better, in my opinion.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
And of course, for many people, Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game simply because of its massive scale with its choices and consequences. I've talked about this so many times before. I can't get enough of Fallout New Vegas. And it all kind of went downhill, in my opinion, with Fallout 4. And I'm not alone in that. A lot of people thought Fallout 4 not being a bad game, but not a very good Fallout game. And again, I've discussed that in great length. You can check out my philosophical breakdown of all the Fallout factions, the yearly reviews if you're interested. But today I just want to breathe a sigh of relief. And it's hard to feel that way, that tension being lifted, because as a Fallout fan, you know how annoying it's been that we haven't had a brand new game for so long. And I don't count Fallout 76, I'm sorry. It's a good multiplayer game. If you enjoy it, that's fine. But it's not an actual Fallout game, in my opinion. And there's a reason why many people don't count it as such.
You're goddamn right.
But today, it's a different day. A different time has finally come. Now, the gaming industry is in a massive crisis at the moment. I talked about that in my recent Assassin's Creed video, if you're curious. But everyone's getting mass layoffs. Xbox is going absolutely insane. And, I do not support this. I do not support shutting down creativity just for profit margins, just to increase shareholder value and all this kind of garbage that modern day gaming has become. But it looks like live service has finally, kicked a lot of these big corporations in the ass, and they realize, this isn't actually what most gamers want. Instead of worrying more about creativity, new ideas, new mechanics, new storylines that actually invest people, and a budget that is just overblown, and the kind of expectation of every game to be such a big hit, to make so much money, it's just kind of crashed the whole gaming industry, and especially with Xbox. So it is very sad to see what has happened with a bunch of these developers and, game makers. And I just want to say, we have to really support more indie developers and smaller teams, AA teams, because that's how we can get gaming back into the community and support each other and not rely on these big AAA games as much. But it has to go both ways. But there is one good thing to come out of this, and that is, I think more creative ideas will be pushed inevitably from this with smaller teams. And the biggest thing that's come out of it, in my opinion, as a Fallout fan, is Bethesda has lost. Finally, Todd Howard has lost. And I'm not here to blame Todd Howard with absolutely everything. That would be pretty stupid. But it's safe to say that Bethesda has completely fumbled the Fallout license. Ever since Fallout 4, like I said, it started to go downhill. Ever since they started reselling, repackaging their games, breaking their games with constant updates that break the community's hard work, but actually is the thing that keeps these games alive, with mods and constantly trying to grab as much money from the fans as possible without actually giving us anything meaningful and making it into a live service kind of slop fest, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad game. Again, Fallout 76 lovers don't, go crazy, okay? But it's not a Fallout game. It's not actually what Fallout should be. And, the amount of crap you can buy in that game just highlights that they care more about money than they care about the themes and the storytelling and stuff like that behind Fallout. Not to say that there's not any good lore in it, but it's not the same, okay? We can all quite clearly see that. And all this time, they should have been working on, you know, actual new Fallout games. And of course they haven't, but today is a day I just want to celebrate because it's the only good bit of news to come out of this whole disaster, if you ask me. And that is Bethesda has lost. They no longer hold the Fallout license. I mean, they do still hold it, but it is being shared around now. Finally, Xbox has realized the potential and how big the Fallout fan base actually is that they are giving it to Obsidian. And that's another thing I want to talk about today, Obsidian Games.
Ultimately, it's not our story, it's the story you create by who you are and the choices you make. And that starts with character creation. It's our most flexible yet.
Now, I do hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, become a Wise One today. If you like deeper themes, analyzing video games, looking at their deeper layers, philosophical videos, all of that good stuff, and early access reviews, that's what I do on this channel, to give you a deeper look at the things we care about and love, and to create a way of thinking that tries to be objective. I present to you the information, and then you can analyze that yourself to decide what is worth your time or not. So I do hope you subscribe, join this fantastic community. I really do appreciate seeing you in the comments and just having this community get bigger and all of us come together to create something hopefully that will do some good in the world and just talk about the things we love. So subscribe, like the video, you know, try and actually support the channel. It really does help a lot. Now, many people are kind of confused about what's going on with Obsidian because a lot of the people who made these great Fallout games have left. A lot of them are actually now returning. And one of the great minds behind Fallout New Vegas is now actually returning to create this new Fallout game. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be Fallout New Vegas 2, or it's going to be a spin-off game, or it's actually going to be Fallout 5. It's obviously not going to be a remake because that's being done by a different developer. But Xbox... So as I was saying, Obsidian is in a weird position because their games are good fundamentally. Like, the bones of their newer games are quite good, you know. From a combat standpoint, I thought the Outer Worlds 2 was actually quite satisfying. From, you know, having cool gameplay gimmicks like the kind of trait system. One I remember is, you know, for example, your knees would crack every time you crouch down. Stuff like that, you know, you would get gameplay modifiers depending on your situation, how many times you did something. You would get like, you know, an irrational fear of robots that would give you a debuff. So cool RPG mechanics to balance things out. But the Outer Worlds 2 still didn't grip me. You know, I didn't actually finish it. It stems from two main problems right now with Obsidian games, in my opinion, is their worlds don't feel truly alive. They are not seamless. They are going for these hub, you know, open areas instead of a connected world, and it really does make a big difference. And that is the, you know, good thing that Bethesda used to do in their games, like Skyrim, you know, wandering around, finding a dungeon, and then finding a random quest that you're not, you know, just heading towards, but just randomly happens to you. Dynamic gameplay and a world that feels alive, and a sandbox, you know, that's immersive and just, you know, reactive. And the Outer Worlds 2 kind of failed to have that. The same thing with Avowed, that was even more worse because it was a multiplayer game originally, and they tried to do a quick turnaround into a single-player RPG, and that was a big failure. And the other second major thing, and that's the thing most people are actually, you know, aware of, that they all kind of feel like this, not everyone, but a lot of us, and that's the writing. The writing in Obsidian modern day games are just not good. A lot of it is just kind of info dumps, a lot of it is... It feels more like time wasting and kind of explanations, not so much like personal conversations, not so much introspective or deeper conversations that made Bethesda games and the older Fallout, that made Fallout New Vegas and older Fallout games so special, and just tight, funny writing with, you know, a lot of emotional weight behind it. It feels very gamified for modern day writing, and a lot of it is kind of corny Marvel humor as well, which I don't think helps. So for them to make a new Fallout game, I'm very excited about this. Fallout New Vegas 2, or just a brand new Fallout game, whatever it's going to be, I'm excited they are finally giving the Fallout IP to someone else, not Bethesda, because Bethesda You know, I've talked about it before. They've completely just lost any reputation that they had after Starfield, after Fallout 76, how they treat the license and how they treat their previous older games and the fan base, how they react to the fan base, just everything modern day Bethesda has done. You know, I tried to stand up for them for a long time, you know, just out of hope because I really loved their older games, but I just don't think they're the same anymore, and people pretending that they are just are ignoring actual facts, in my opinion, objective facts with how they are treating their games and the gamers.
My reign will last forever, and when this world is cold and dead, I shall remain eternal, God of the Ashes.
So for me, for Fallout New Vegas 2 and this new Fallout game to actually be good, what it needs is that writing. That's what made these games so special. It's not just the gameplay, it's the world building, it's the choices that actually matter, consequences, gameplay systems like the reputation system, factions reacting differently to your actions, and an open world that actually feels living, that you can freely explore, and the sense of discovery. You know, unless if they are doing a kind of different type of Fallout game, which it might be, you know, like a first-person linear story shooter for all I know, or it might be a top-down RPG or like an RTS or something like that. We have no idea, but the point is they need to bring back core good writing and the themes of exploration with the Fallout new game. And Obsidian, if they're handling this, they need to change how they write their games. And that's just creativity today. Now it's very corporate, it's very safe, everyone's afraid. Everyone's afraid to take creative risks because they put so much budget and effort into new projects that they're afraid it will fail and hurt their shareholders. It's not about creativity anymore. It's not about smaller teams all sharing the same idea, connecting on the same wavelength to create art. It's more about a product now. And for Fallout to succeed, it needs to go back to that old mentality. And having these lead creators coming back from the older Fallout games into Obsidian does give me hope. Seeing that Bethesda finally lost and that Fallout now belongs to the bigger ecosystem of Xbox and other developers, not just Bethesda anymore, gives me hope for Fallout's future. And I just wanted to talk about the state of Fallout and how Bethesda has fumbled their chance to keep this license, you know, for themselves, and the future of Fallout, what this could be. It could either be a complete, you know, downfall, and we just have to accept that Fallout is over now. We've got the old games and that's it. We're going to get the remakes and that's it. Or this is the second, you know, kind of rebirth of the Fallout series, the Fallout franchise with the Fallout TV show, which is kind of mixed, but still, I am very excited, but I am also skeptical that this is going to succeed, just looking at the current state of creativity and modern day media. And that's why we need to support originality, new ideas, and not just corporate slop, not just endless consumerism, but actually fund, support. That's why we actually need to fund, come together, form our own communities. That's what the Fallout community is so great at. That's why I love the Fallout community, because we are passionate fans. We care about this universe, this history. That's why, you know, we've basically kept Fallout alive. Us, the community, the modders who put in all the hard work, and the fan games that have come out, like Fallout London and all this kind of stuff. So this could be the big, you know, kind of rebirth of the Fallout franchise, and it's because Bethesda has lost and because Bethesda no longer holds Fallout. And it's all thanks to the fact that Xbox is waking up, but it's not going to work if they only are supporting the big AAA and a few companies, which is kind of looking that way, but at least they are focusing on IPs and franchises that people actually care about, which is crazy to me that it's been so just not managed at all this whole time. And Bethesda have just, you know, I don't know what they've been doing, but they've just had a massive, you know, crisis. It sounds like they have tons of terrible management at that company, and the creativity has just completely gone because they're so big now that it's hard to actually work on something that's new and innovative, and it's safer just to keep milking that 76 and old Fallout by, you know, re-releasing stuff. But anyway, this is the chance for Fallout to come back. I just wanted to talk about it today as a passionate Fallout fan, give you my thoughts on the industry currently. Let me know what you think. Has Bethesda lost? Is this Fallout New Vegas 2 the hope for the new Fallout franchise? Will it be something completely different? Are you open to a different style of Fallout game? Do you think Obsidian has the quality, the writing, the creativity behind them to support Fallout? What other studio would you like to see working on a Fallout game? And do you think a modern Fallout game would actually be any good? A Fallout New Vegas 2 or a brand new game? And does it need to have that Bethesda magic? Because there's no denying that Bethesda does have that secret sauce that made these games so beloved. And can that actually be replicated? Only time will tell. It's not like they've lost completely the license to Fallout. They are still probably going to be making Fallout 5. But it's just a very interesting time for Fallout and the universe. And we do need to respect creativity and the people who made Fallout and this fantastic world building and all the lore that goes into it. So it's an exciting time, but also a very skeptical time to be a Fallout fan and just to be a fan of gaming. I'm just worried about creativity in modern society. We really do need to not be afraid of sharing and trying new things and spreading new ideas and making art again, not just making a product. So thank you for watching, my wise ones. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you do, like the video, support someone who's actually passionate about this stuff. And let's bring media back in this world that actually allows us to think and share different perspectives once again and bring Fallout back to the glory days. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.